Are you tired of planning your entire life around bathroom breaks? If you're watching this, chances are you're dealing with the daily annoyance of an overactive bladder. An overactive bladder is a condition that involves a sudden, uncontrollable urge to urinate, often leading to frequent trips to the bathroom and even accidental leakage. But what if I told you that one of the biggest culprits behind all your bladder problems might be hiding in your kitchen? Yes, it's true. The foods and drinks you consume can either help calm your bladder or trigger it like an alarm bell. In this video, we will reveal to you 10 foods that are making your overactive bladder worse. And trust me, some of these will absolutely shock you. So, if you're ready to take control and get comfortable, stick around. This is everything you need to know to finally give your bladder a break. So, without any further ado, let's get started. Number 1. Citrus fruits. Citrus fruits are supposed to be healthy, right? Well, they are, but for people with overactive bladders, they can be pure trouble. Oranges, lemons, limes, and grapefruits are highly acidic, and that acid can irritate the lining of your bladder, leading to increased urgency and discomfort. But here's the thing, you don't have to completely eliminate vitamin C from your diet. Try less acidic fruits like apples, pears, or watermelon instead. If you absolutely must have your citrus fix, try having it earlier in the day and in smaller amounts. And those vitamin C enriched drinks, skip them altogether. They're often worse than the real thing. Number 2. Tomatoes. Tomatoes are highly acidic, and when they're concentrated, like in pasta sauce, pizza sauce, or ketchup, they can be even more problematic. Like what we said, the acid in tomatoes can irritate the bladder lining and increase urgency. But here's the good news. You can still enjoy Italian cuisine. Try white sauces made with olive oil and herbs, or pesto as alternatives. If you absolutely can't give up your marinara, try adding a little heavy cream to reduce the acidity and avoid eating tomato-based foods later in the day when bladder control tends to be more challenging. Some people find that cooked tomatoes are a little easier on their bladder compared to raw ones, so that's something to try as well. Number 3. Caffeine. Yes, your beloved morning coffee might be the reason you're going to the bathroom every hour. Caffeine is like a double trouble for your bladder. It's both a diuretic, making you produce more urine, and a bladder irritant, making you feel the urge to go more often. And it's not just coffee. We're talking here about tea, energy drinks, chocolate, and even some medications that contain caffeine. What's important here is that the timing is everything. Try limiting caffeine intake to before 2 p.m. and start by cutting your usual amount in half. You can also switch to decaf coffee or caffeine-free teas as an alternative. Remember, it's not about completely eliminating the things you love, but finding a balance that gives your bladder some relief. If you find yourself craving a hot drink in the evening, try caffeine-free herbal teas like chamomile or rooibos instead. Number 4. Onions and garlic. This might surprise you, but onions and garlic can be significant bladder irritants for many people. Both are part of the allium family and contain sulfur compounds that can irritate a sensitive bladder. The good news is that some people find they can tolerate these foods when they're well cooked versus raw. If you love the flavor they add to dishes, try using small amounts of onion or garlic powder instead of the fresh versions, or experiment with bladder-friendly alternatives like chives or shallots in smaller quantities. Pay attention to how your body reacts to different preparations. You might find that certain cooking methods make these ingredients more tolerable. Number 5. Spicy foods. Spicy foods, especially those containing hot peppers, curry, or wasabi, can easily irritate your bladder and make you feel like you need to go more frequently. That's because they contain capsaicin, which can irritate your bladder lining. So instead of reaching for hot sauce, try seasoning your food with milder spices and herbs like basil, parsley, or turmeric. These can add flavor without the irritation that comes with the hot options. If you must eat your food spicy, try gradually reducing the hot spices and pay attention to how your bladder reacts to different spices. Some people find they can tolerate certain types of heat better than others. Number 6. Artificial sweeteners. Those sugar-free treats might be saving you calories, but they could be causing havoc with your bladder. Artificial sweeteners, especially aspartame and saccharin, are known bladder irritants. They're lurking everywhere: diet sodas, sugar-free candies, even some medications and vitamins. What makes them particularly sneaky is that many people switch to diet versions of drinks, thinking they're making a healthy choice, only to find their bladder issues getting worse. If you need to sweeten things up, try natural alternatives like a small amount of honey or stevia, which tend to be gentler on the bladder. Always check labels carefully. Artificial sweeteners can hide under names like sucralose, acesulfame K, and neotame. Before we continue, if you have been finding the video helpful so far, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss more videos like this. Number 7. High sodium foods. High sodium foods cause your body to retain water, which eventually has to be eliminated, usually at the most inconvenient times. Processed foods, canned soups, frozen dinners, and snack foods are often loaded with sodium. The solution isn't just to put down the salt shaker. It's about being mindful of hidden sodium in your food. Try cooking more meals from scratch where you can control the salt content and use herbs and spices to add flavor instead. When you do eat higher sodium foods, balance them out by drinking plenty of water throughout the day, but not right before bed. Number 8. Cranberry juice. Cranberry juice is often praised for urinary health, but it's not ideal if you have an overactive bladder. Cranberries are highly acidic, and while they can be beneficial for preventing urinary tract infections, they can also irritate the bladder and increase urgency. If you've been drinking cranberry juice thinking it would help your bladder issues, it might actually be doing more harm than good. Instead, try drinking plain water or herbal teas that are bladder-friendly, like chamomile or peppermint tea. These are much gentler on your bladder and can help keep you hydrated without causing irritation. Number 9. Carbonated drinks. Carbonated beverages, whether they're sodas, sparkling water, or even champagne, can cause your bladder to become more sensitive, leading to increased urgency. The carbonation itself can cause bladder irritation, and many fizzy drinks also contain other bladder irritants like caffeine, artificial sweeteners, or citrus flavors. If you're missing that refreshing fizz, try infusing still water with cucumber, mint, or berries for a flavorful alternative. If you must have something carbonated, let it go flat first and drink it earlier in the day. Cutting back on carbonated drinks can make a noticeable difference in how often you feel the need to rush to the bathroom. It might not be easy at first, but your bladder will definitely thank you in the long run. Number 10. Alcohol. Alcohol is a major bladder irritant that needs to be addressed. Wine, beer, spirits, they're all diuretics that increase urine production and irritate the bladder lining. Red wine is particularly problematic because it contains both alcohol and acid. White wine isn't much better, and those fancy cocktails. They're often loaded with acidic mixers that make things even worse. If you still want to enjoy social drinking, try limiting yourself to one drink and making it a vodka soda with a splash of cranberry. Always alternate with plain water, and stop drinking at least 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. Your bladder will thank you for not having to work overtime during the night. At the end, managing an overactive bladder can be challenging, but understanding which foods might be making your symptoms worse is a great first step. Remember, everyone's body is different, and it might take some time to figure out what works best for you. Now, we want to hear from you. Have you noticed any particular foods that make your overactive bladder symptoms worse? Do you have any tips or personal tricks for managing an overactive bladder? Share with us your experiences and opinions in the comments below. We love to hear them. Thanks for watching.